After staying in the hospital for a few days, he would be able to get out of the hospital if he had nothing to do. June let out a sigh. It seems that you still remember her after so many years, but she had not seen in those years. I guess you are hallucinating. He almost laughed at himself. Illusion, maybe? June didn't know what to say to comfort her nephew, as he was suddenly such in a low mood. Although he had never been in a good mood in the past 5 years, he looked as if he was really trapped in love. As a senior, she couldn't keep watching him get so depressed. How about this? You can't keep going like this. After you are discharged, I will find you someone, then you can go on a blind date. He frowned unhappily. Auntie, what did you say? What? Are you really going to stay single? Let me tell you, it doesn't matter if you want to go solo, but I'm afraid that I can't face my sister when the time comes. She will blame me for not taking good care of you. After all, your mother entrusted you to me personally back then. He became even more unhappy and didn't respond. When June realized, she felt heavy and lowered her voice. In short, is it appropriate to meet first? Your current image is no longer the Jungkook who was sitting in a wheelchair. Don't always be delusional. Do you understand? In the past, many women like his face, but they hate that he was crippled. They also wanted the Joan family's background, so they wanted to date him. But many families don't want to marry their daughters because of his disability. Moreover, the outside world said that he couldn't be human. So many parents didn't want their daughters stay like we do, but now time was different. He stood up and no longer sat in a wheelchair. He is handsome, had a good family background, a good figure, and also had a powerful business mind. Who doesn't like such a man? Many businessmen offered their daughters to him, but he didn't even look at them. June watched on the surface, but in her heart, she knew what he was up to, but she didn't say anything. Let me tell you this, I don't care what you think. Do you regret it all these years? But I told you that even if you regret it, it's useless. You were the one who proposed the divorce, right? You were the one who stopped her from entering the Joan family. Even if you really saw her, you don't have the right to do anything, understand? Besides, 5 years have passed. It's hard to guarantee that she won't marry again. Even if you really see her, you can't disturb her. Do you hear me? He didn't answer. Her temper rose as she raised her hand to pull his ear. Did you hear that? He hissed in pain as his face color changed. Let go. Now you know to let go. When I was talking to you, how did you ignore me? Little aunt, when she saw his ear turn red, she felt heartache as she helplessly sighed before withdrew her hand. All right, I didn't mean to be angry with you. It's just that you have to take what little aunt said to you seriously. I won't be going back to Busan for the few days. We will talk after you are discharged. He recalled what she said about introducing a blind date to him when he will discharge. You don't have to help me with those things. I, John Jungkook, don't have to worry about not having a woman. Yeah, I know you don't worry about women, but do you have the heart to find a woman? If you don't want to find a woman, I have to find one for you. Anyway, this matter is settled. I will arrange, don't worry, I will definitely find those with good moral character. I won't be vain. He closed his eyes. He had gone mad. He was really crazy. It had been 5 years because of your appearance. He had been completely disturbed. Brother, are you satisfied with me bringing here? He nodded. There was a picture on the tombstone. The woman in the picture looked cold but had a gentle and polite smile. You had seen this woman back then, 5 years ago, in the Kim family's poster. Everyone said that she was your mother, but you are not familiar with this person at all. Your heart was moved but felt little uncomfortable. This woman believed that her daughter was alive. That's why she went many places to look after. She was so depressed because her daughter was missing. As a mother, you can understand now how painful it would be if Rovon disappeared one day. You're afraid that you would go crazy. Sokjin finally felt that the stone in his heart moved as his heart felt relieved after bringing you to cemetery to meet you with Mrs. Kim. Sokjin reached out to rub your head. Only he knew that his mother is very happy now because her son completed the task that given by her. He have found the bloodline of the Kim family. His mother personally gone to many places just to search for this daughter. Everyone had lost their hope. Mr. Kim was abroad that time when he heard that his precious daughter had disappeared suddenly. He rushed over, but unfortunately caught a plane crash. Your mother's body was weak and depressed. In that situation, Mr. Kim's accident made her more shocked and she lost her mind. That's how she passed away by heart attack. You felt heartache, it's all because of you that happened. You kneeled down near the tomb for long, apologizing, being the cause of this family's devastated. Sokjin comforted you and later on left the place, both of you in a dull mind. It's almost 2 days that Jenny was still using her excuses. Even you knew you didn't want to disturb her. You, Rovun, and Sokjin stayed in the living room. Uncle and nephew played game on phone. You asked maids to send some snacks to Jenny. Sokjin suddenly handed you document. What is this? Registration documents for the company. You were surprised as he established a company in your name. When he found out that some actress wanted to sue you, he looked at the news indifferently, but he knows that his sister knows own limit. Moreover, you were not afraid even she saw. It's her fault in the first place. You just smiled since you were replying on your brother's post. That's why you were a little willful. You'll just lose the money in that case. But Sokjin was worried about your future career. If I can't become a designer, then I will change my profession and become an actor. He was stunned and then narrowed his eyes. He rejected having the idea of being actress. If you can't be a designer, you can't be actor as well. At the end, you have to join his family and find career. He was so serious and you laughed because you were joking. You're not young anymore. You don't have any acting skills. If your designer career got stuck, then you will do something else, but not in an acting industry. Sokjin had already registered the company nearby the Kim Group and he had already hired a best design team in the country. You were surprised if he arranged best design team, then you have to pay them first. Instead of making money, you will go bankrupt first. You joked a little with your brother. He believed in your ability. That's why he's responsible to helping you for 3 months and then rest will depends on you. Whether you can make an excellent company and attract enough customer or made brand. When you are overseas, you had the name of your own designer, but you never thought of creating your own brand. If you want to lead an entire team, you have to think of unique style. You started to worry about Rovon, also became curious about. Mommy, can I also have a position in the company? When you heard, you couldn't help glaring at him. You were just a child. What position do you want? He didn't dare to ask you more, so he looked at Sokjin as expected. Sokjin promised him to give position making innocent child's eyes sparkled. However, Sokjin seemed to see a trace of shyness in Rowoon's eyes, but in a second it disappeared. He thought that he must have seen wrongly. After contract signed with Kim Sokjin, he walked happily upstairs with his short legs and climbed onto the chair before turning laptop on. He looked very innocent and especially obedient in front of his elders, although he was very smart and sensible. He had never shown anything in front of anyone. He would not play with a laptop for a long time in front of his mother. Because his mother would not let him play for long, but he is very good at operating the system. His mother don't know about his little secret. As soon as laptop's desktop showed, he logged into the chat software. There was many messages. His friends had been looking for him since week cause their website was having problem and he's the mastermind among them. He have teammate online and he's known as Seagull. When he logged in, the messages gave him headache as he closed the window for a while and then patiently opened again. His friends complained that somehow hacked their website. They tried to fix it but couldn't. He muted chatbox and checked the issues on their secret website IP not being accessed. When he opened the website backstage with calm expression, their website backstage had collapsed. He quickly tried to see the problem, then his hand moved in a fast mode. The group chat was boiling because he didn't reply any of them and they're used to it. He was cold and arrogant mysterious person who rarely spoke online. No one knew his true identity there, but when he was offline, he was very obedient and talkative kid. His hands beat upon straight as he fixed the system quickly. Then sent a last message of his friends that he just arrived Korea, that's why he's busy. He barely replied to them. Suddenly he heard a footsteps coming from outside. His eyes flashed, then he quickly closed the laptop, logging out of the software. At the same time, closed the notebook and jumped off the chair. Door pushed opened and you happened to see him jumping down from the chair. You smiled. Rowan, are you playing with notebook? Didn't mummy tell you to look less? You are still so young and it's not good for your eyes. He walked carefully by your side. Mommy, I didn't. I was just charging it. You looked at the notebook and found that it was indeed plugged with charger's wires. You rubbed his head. Good boy. Come, mommy brought you some grapes. He cheered and hugged your waist happily. You let him eat and went to take a shower. He heard the sound of splashing water in the bathroom. He looked over the laptop. He didn't want to hide it from his mommy, but his mommy didn't like him playing with computer and phone a lot because his mommy is afraid that his eyes will affect it, so he didn't give any hard situation. He knew that his mother is working hard to give him better living conditions. Most of the time he could see his mother quietly crying, watching him as that you felt sorry for him, that you didn't take a good care of him. He wasn't asleep at that time. He heard most of the things that his mother said. As a single parent, his mind was more sensitive. That's why he didn't dare to reveal any of his emotions in front of you. He will smile and be a soft. He really loved his mom. He also hoped that his mommy would be happy. He will work hard when he will grow a little in the future. Therefore, he must hide his little secret for the time being. You had to visit the new company, so you wake up early in the morning. It was mainly because Sokjin had to go to work and Rowoon will be also go with his uncle. So you wake up Rowoon as well, then get him ready. Both of you finished, then went downstairs for breakfast. Rowoon was taken away by Sokjin. It's still early, you can go back to sleep. Secretary Bay will come to find you later. You looked at him surprised. You will have time to sleep then. What if Secretary Bay came to find me right after I fell asleep? He couldn't help but smiled. She still has things to do in the morning, don't worry. You nodded, understanding, as Susie was now wife and mother, so she will not be free in the early morning. You bid goodbye to both of them and went back to your room to have some more sleep, but suddenly Han grabbed you. You were so shocked. Jenny, you still know me. I feel like you have forgotten about me these 2 days. She hugged your arms, complaining. Her hair was messy and she looked in bad situation. What are you doing? Didn't you say that you had to hide in the room when you were sick? How could I have the nerve to disturb you? You mocked, making her pout. You clearly knew that it was an excuse, yet you deliberately ignored me. You raised your brow and smiled. Don't worry, how could I forget you? I have to go to the company to take a look. Hurry up and wash up. Go downstairs to have breakfast. My brother has gone to work. She was instantly moved and hugged you before hurrying, but you made her relax since there was still time. By the time you wake, it was already 1 o'clock. Susie had already arrived but didn't wake you up. Susie and Jenny was talking downstairs. After three of you ate lunch, went together. Jenny had no idea that you had registered company for yourself. Since you are not volunteer, she understand. It was Sokjin who arranged it for you. Sokjin really took care of everything and treated you so well. His sister was not child anymore, but the way Sokjin treated you was like a giant baby. You are also helpless sometimes. You can't refuse the good intentions of own brother. On the way, Susie kept talking about the matter of company that Sokjin had built over the years. He had already planned this way before when you were studying overseas. Susie was really a right hand man of Sokjin's, as he always talked behalf of him in a good way. You had read the membership of the team. He had spent so much money to hire the best designer in the country to work together. You can't say anything since company had already opened. Furthermore, starting a company isn't easy thing to begin with. He had believed in his sister's ability, so you have give your best. When you arrived at the company, you were stunned as you thought that Sokjin had built small, but it was big. You thought that your company would be like small studio, but it was big building. Although it was not comparable to the Kim Group building, it was similar to the nearby building, which at least have 8th floor. Entire time, whenever you get stunned, Susie would be reminded that Kim Sokjin can do anything for his sister. He won't blink his eyes and think for a second. He can even hand you entire Kim group, but the love he drew for his sister was not even comparable with any properties or money. Not to forget that you are now the heirs of the Kim family and behind you is the entire Kim family. Designers was waiting eagerly to their new boss. They're curious who's the person that Kim Sokjin has supported so generously in the industry as a favor of rich businessman. Everyone could tell the gender of the person. Otherwise, how would a man spend so much time and effort? Some started to gossip, some didn't care who's the boss, man or woman, as long as he or she have qualifications to be the boss and they get paid, it will be fine. Some are waiting. If the attitude of the boss wasn't good, they will scram. When the waiting room was filled with nurses, Susie walked in with her high heels followed by two women behind. You didn't wear any makeup and sunglasses. You were wearing casual clothes and your long hair was tied in a low ponytail. You have faint smile that looked especially gentle. At the same time, there were words written on your face. People really hate people who's prettier than them and better than them.